What's up folks, my name is Felix. Welcome back to this catch-up video on the video I released around 3 days ago where I talked about 3 different projects and about the general state of the current DeFi high ROI market. In this specific video today, I want to talk about how scammers try to get you into their project and to rug pull you, because there were just recently 2 projects which did an audit and changed their smart contract after they did the audit and launched with a manipulated smart contract, and most likely they will rug pull in the upcoming days if they not have already when this video will be released. So the projects I'm talking about were also listed here on Moonark. I think they delisted them. For this reason, the projects I'm talking about were audited by the Stamp. If you are for quite some time in the space, you should have heard about this company. These are offering quite cheap audits for around $300. If you need a quick audit, it's a little bit more expensive. But in this case, there were 2 projects which I'm going to talk about. And this is Pulse Cash and Trust Earn. And if we take a look on their score, the score has been reduced to 1. And this has the following reason, which I already talked about. They manipulated the smart contracts and launched with a different smart contract from the contract which has been audited. And if we jump over to Pulse Cash, we can see that right here on the audit. They wrote it here on the Team Trust edit. They swapped the contract at launch, adding a function that allows them to set withdrawal fee up to 100%, most likely a scam. And the same counts for Trust Earn, also a score of just 1, because they also changed their contract before they launched, and there they added it right on the top here, update. Upon launch, the team launched and replaced the contract, adding a rug pull function, so obviously a scam. And how these functions look, you can see that here in the background, this is an airdrop function for access to the full funds, which can be moved to a different wallet address. And that's why if you are a regular investor in that space and going for these projects, you should follow channels, follow people, follow groups that give you that information before you go into the trap. So always double check before you jump into any project in this space, because we can clearly see that those projects, those CEOs, founders, whatever we want to call them, just want to take advantage of the investors, get their funds. If it is only 5,000 or 10,000 US dollars, they will rug pull you, and there is no way you can get back your money. That's why you should always pay attention to such things and follow the right people, follow the right information, because right information is key in this space. If you have more information than other people, you will most likely do better than them. The second thing which I wanted to talk about is the USD Bank project or ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. I already did a specific video about it right here, USD Bank, why most of them will lose, and I'm still that opinion. So if we jump over to Moonark, they just listed their 3rd project on here, which will be called USD Bank Wealth, which will have a daily ROI of 5 to 7%. And obviously, if we take a look on these projects, so that's the 3rd of these kinds, and the devs just want to grab the dev fees. They, if we jump back to Moonark, collected around 30k into BUSD Bank Vault, which had a TVL in the top of over 300k. Now BUSD Bank nodes around 170, 180k. And in those projects, both together, they probably collected around, let's say 45k just in dev fees for projects which will probably crash in the next, I would say, 20 to 30 days. I said in this video where I specifically talked about BUSD Bank Vault that it will not be there anymore at the mid of August, and we will see how this ages. But here again, if you want to jump in BUSD Bank Vault or BUSD Bank Nodes or the new one, which will be called BUSD Bank Wealth, you should expect to lose, because once the first one crashes, so BUSD Bank Vault right here, which collected most of the funds, people will start panicking, as it is always, and they will start collecting from all the other projects as well. And the thing is, there is if we jump into BUSD Bank Vault, so-called emergency withdrawal function, which allows the investors to withdraw 50% of their stakes, and people will most likely do that at some point. So pay very close attention if you are invested to the smart contract, to the funds which are still in there, because at some point there will be a cascade effect and the contract balance will probably go to zero in, yeah, let's say 1 hour, 2 hour. Maybe it will just take 30 minutes, but you can expect this to happen very, very soon. I would say in the next 20 to 30 days again. Another project which I mentioned in my last video, which I wanted to catch up on, is Stagger Cafe. These kind of projects were very popular in the second quarter of the last year. These are these 6 planned projects. And I wanted to show you something in the smart contract. As you can see here, the total staked amount should be, if we refresh the page, at around 27,000 US dollars. And if we jump into the smart contract and pay attention to these transactions, there are basically the invest functions, which are investors which put their money into the project. And if we jump into the transactions and go into the logs, scroll down all the way, we can see in what plan those people invested. For example, this person invested in plan 0. And if you are familiar with the code bases of these projects, you will know that plan 0 in this case is the first plan, because these plans are always structured like this is plan 0, this is plan 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they don't start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they start over with 0. And this person, for example, jumped into the first plan right here, which in my opinion is the lowest risk plan. But we can of course also look at a different transaction. For example, let's take a look at this one here and go to logs again, scroll down all the way. Here we can also see this person jumped into plan 0. Because I did my research before, I know that also people jumped into plan 2 or plan 1, so all these 3 here on the tops. There are also some people who jumped into these locked plans where you can withdraw your profits after these 12, 18 or 25 days are over, and those people will most likely lose out because the people here in the top plans will reach their ROI before them, and then the contract balance will be drained. And if you have a tool which can get the data from all these transactions, this is very helpful, and of course it will give you an edge of all the other people, and will of course show you after 1 or 2 days if it still makes sense to go into, for example, here the first plan, or if we take a look on the code basis, this is plan 0, to jump into this project and still make profits. So you always want to look for an advantage in these kind of Ponzi high ROI plays. And the last project which we want to take a very quick look at is called Stable Fund. I also mentioned this in my last video, and let's jump over to their code. We can see that this project launched 2 days and 7 hours, and there were no collected funds because they basically did no marketing. This again is a straight copy of USD Bank Vault. You can see that very clearly if you jump on their homepage, compare them and take a look on their code. This is all very similar, just to give you that impression right here. So I'm not surprised at all with no marketing and just a straight copy that they didn't had success. And this is a good sign in my opinion, and also a sign that we are not in the bull market again, because in the bull market there are still some people who would jump into these kind of projects, but right now in the current market conditions there are people who know the space, who know how to play it, and that's why probably the stable fund project here in this case got no investors. So if you find this information valuable, I would be very grateful if you can hit the like button. If you don't want to miss future videos on such kind of projects, you might want to also subscribe. I bring those videos at least every second day on this channel. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and let's get this crypto.